We live?
Yeah.
Who need a dog? Who needs a dog? Welcome to another episode of the Uncensored Philly Sports Podcast. You got Wayne, Ethan, and Tim. Ephraim is trying to get his device together now. He's running into some technical difficulties. 3-0 lead. Toronto came out. They came out. They played like it was their playoff lives. They came out swinging, biting, scratching, hitting, tugging, pulling at everybody. Got off to a big lead. And then the Sixers settled down, led by James Harden. At that point, he took control of the game. He played like the floor general. Maxey and Toby, they played their parts tonight. But tonight was all about Joel Embiid and Harden helped carry us up to a point. But this was a great team win, in my opinion. I even give Doc a couple points for a couple things. But what y'all get out of the night?
All right, let me address all these people that's addressing me in the comments. I'm saying hi, Tim, and they hate it. First of all, this was an awesome, incredible win. Shout out to everybody who played the role. It was so many people that we could thank, like the boy James Harden. The only reason why we stayed in this game because of James. And I know they want me to sit there. B did his thing. But you know what I'm going to get a game ball to? I'm going to have to kind of give a game ball to that Doc Rivers timeout. That Doc Rivers timeout with less than a minute to go. B was about to turn the ball over again because he had like 6 or 7 turnovers. And Doc Rivers ran down the court like, timeout. Let me get y'all together. He called the perfect timeout. And then B hit that miracle shot. He nailed it. But this was about coaching, and this was about Embiid hitting.
It wasn't no miracle shot. It was skill.
Oh, it was right. I won't even say miracle because I've seen him hit it a couple times. B did his thing, but you can give props to Doc Rivers because a lot of y'all was out here hating on the ball.
Sergeant Bass said, "Thanks, Sergeant Bass. Good looking out in the super chat. Yizzo, Doc is still a nut, but I'll take the W. I'll take the W too. Listen, this was a great game to sit there and watch, especially that we won. Yeah, I mean, it feels good that we won. Good execution. It was a couple lulls in the game. Listen, the play of the game is Toronto missing the ball game. The game ball goes Toronto missing free throws at the end. They couldn't close it out. They couldn't close it out. Listen, Toronto, they hats off to them, man. They scrappy. They do what they got to do, but when you look at this team, maybe Scotty Barnes can fill that role. They really don't have a playmaker at the end. Yeah. Siakam's handles all over the place. Fred VanVleet is a good three-point shooter, but he really can't create his own shot. Nobody really can't create their own shot like that, except maybe a Scotty Barnes. They was in this game of hard defensive hustle. So hats off to them. Yeah. They try everything. They pull everything out of the box to win this game. We still stole it.
Listen. My fault. Oh, I thought you was done.
That takes a lot from a team. I don't even know if they'll have anything. If we come out game 4 and smack on the mouth, it's over.
But that's why. Remember during the game, that's what I said. When we was in overtime, I said even if they win this game, the Sixers took their best shot. They played like it was the final game. It was their last game, their last chance. They knew. You saw it on their faces after the Sixers came back. You saw on their faces that they started to have that look. You know the look they had? It reminded me of the Bucks back when we played when AI. Remember when AI in Game 6 and we was in Milwaukee and the Bucks was routing the Sixers and then AI brought them back and we almost won it. And the way the Bucks looked walking off that court and the way AI looked, you knew that they was done. And that's the look that it looked like was in Toronto's eyes to me. But listen, if anybody out here, y'all talking about Harden nonsense. Do y'all not realize that he was the floor general? He did control. You saw the difference when Harden wasn't in the game. That's how come you saw how many times we got bad shot selections and bad spacing when Harden wasn't in the game. So if you don't think that Harden is important to this team and the spacing and everything that goes with it, you're out of your mind.
Because Embiid, the shots, even though he hit that big 3-pointer at the end, Harden would have had him doing a pick and roll.
That shot before it was horrible. That shot he shot before that was from the same spot. It was horrible.
Yeah, the regulation was bad. I don't know why.
Yeah, the regulation.
It's a tie. This is what irritates me about this generation of basketball. It's a
Sergeant Bass. Sergeant Bass is right. He get
We're looking out, Sergeant Bass. We had 20.
He said we had 200 turnovers.
Yes,
it felt like 200. It felt like 200.
But this era of basketball, sometime to me, when all you need is a bucket, you should have stepped back three. Listen, Embiid, you was getting fouled. Either go to the line or get an easier shot.
Yeah.
Why settle for the step back bucket in regulation? But we won, so I can't complain. But I just that stuff in this era of basketball irritates me.
And that shot in this round is okay, but next round that's not a smart decision to really be doing. I know we hype, and rightfully so, we won this game, but it's a lot of takeaways. There's a lot of things that we can look that we can get better in. Like those turnovers that we had in the first quarter, like Embiid had 4 turnovers in the first quarter. I mean, that kind of put us in a hole big time.
The whole team stunk on turnovers. B had 4, Harden had like 3, Maxey had 2, Toby had like 2 or 3. Like our whole starting lineup was turning the ball over.
And that's how Toronto has been able to beat us in the past, and that's how they've been beating teams, because they forced turnovers. And so once we got, and then we stopped rebounding like we was staying in position to get those offensive and defensive rebounds. And like shout out to Toby too, because Toby came up clutch, even though he missed that gimme that could have won the game in regulation. But he came up with, that was a huge rebound. That was really huge, because they could have got that and ran it and scored an easy layup and won the game. So
that wasn't a gimme. Guess what? He could have did what B did. Remember when B grabbed the rebound and got a punch by who was it? Giannis that punched it. He was like, B should have dunked it. At least Toby got the shot up. But Toby and Maxey. Listen. Maxey wasn't. His offense was off, but he came up with some clutch defensive plays down the stretch.
He did.
With a couple blocks and a couple. He was skying for some rebounds down the stretch too. He had 2 buckets, huge buckets of OT too. The first 4 buckets. We start off a little stagnant. And that's the other thing about the thing that you said about B shot selection. That goes to Harden being. I hear you what you're saying in this round, but I think that goes to Embiid. Nobody can get the ball to him deep inside the paint like Harden can. And so he ends up coming outside to get the ball. And this is why we would lose to teams like Miami and Toronto and struggle with them, because we didn't have a point guard to get the center in there.
But I don't think he didn't even try, though, to be honest with you. He didn't even try to go down. He got himself right at the top of the key or the side up top, but he didn't go down because these boys can't stick him. None of them can stick him. None of them can keep him out the paint like that.
I will say this about Toby. He didn't take a lot of shots. He only took 9 shots, but he did what he had to do. He played good defense.
He did.
He hustled. He moved his feet. He got rebounds. When it was opportunity to try and score, he did score a couple good baskets in there. So he wasn't called on for the offense like he was the first 2 games, but he did what he had to do to win. Toby is the type of player. Toby understands. Listen, he is willing to sacrifice his game on one end if it takes to win. I mean, he probably has the most less offensive moves out of anybody. So it's probably default, but he's willing to do it. He don't cry about it.
Tobias is better than Harden. No, he's not.
Who said that?
See this? Come on.
Who said that?
Miz.
Hey, hold up. Tim, why you ain't tell me I could bring the comments from the YouTube up right here? I thought I'm sitting there looking at another device. You ain't tell me I could bring the comments up on my computer that I'm looking at?
Yeah, click comments.
Yeah, thank you. You've been helpful.
I didn't know that either. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Either he telling us to spread. Like, come on, bro. Make it a whole lot easier.
They focus.
I am. I'm helping Ethan out to know too. Now we both can be a part of it. But listen, this what we got. This what we got to do. All right, listen. As a fan base, right? I understand some of us have certain biases against certain players and for certain players. How about we enjoy the Sixers team and not hate? Like, there's no reason to hate on the Tobias. There's no reason to hate on Harden or Maxey or Bede. There's no need to hate on anybody on this team right now as we're playing as a team in the playoffs. Stop pitting them against each other. Harden better than Toby. Harden better than Maxey. Maxey better than such. Like, that ain't about that. This is a squad. Let's enjoy the ride with this squad, bro. This is a team that play like a team.
I mean, no, Harden is better.
Listen, that happens. That's part of the discussions, man. You know, we're gonna talk about that.
But I think it takes away from some people getting to enjoy the game. It's like you sitting there and you want to hate on. You know how I go. I ain't gonna front. It was hard for me to root for the Sixers sometimes when Brett was the coach. I wanted to win, but it was like if they didn't win, it was like, well, Brett Brown was the reason. But if you feel that way, that's like when Tim was hating on Carson Wentz all them years. He couldn't even enjoy. He wouldn't enjoy the Super Bowl if it wasn't for the fact that Carson Wentz got hurt.
But he did. He's trying.
Listen, hey Sergeant Bass, Toby blew that. You said that wasn't you got to look at all the circumstances. That first of all, he ripped the rebound down. The clock is running down. You got to get a shot up. So he's trying to rip the ball loose and then rush a shot up that's being contested by these athletic bulls that have been blocking shots. So it wasn't no bunny. It wasn't no bunny.
Good looking out, Sergeant Bass throwing the super. He said he dealt with the super.
It wasn't no bunny though.
Good looking out.
No, he still got to knock that down. I agree. So,
no, he should have, but it wasn't like it wasn't no wide open just underneath the basket by himself layup. He had to rip the rebound from two people and then try to get the ball up as they're trying to defend it with the clock running down. That's not easy.
It wasn't.
It was makeable, but it's not easy.
I'm gonna say it like this: it wasn't easy, but you would expect Toby make that. It wasn't crazy difficult. It wasn't as difficult as B's three of that. So you listen. He's because everybody says he's getting 180 million.
I agree, Jules.
You talk about he got to step his game up. So
he did get fouled. But they wasn't gonna call it.
You got to play through.
Bro, they was abusing Danny. Danny, you see how Danny lost control? I never seen Danny lose it on the court.
It was getting hosed.
I think the game is called pretty fair. To be honest with you,
I do believe they called the game a lot fairer than they. Not I won't say fair, but it was cleaner. I say it was cleaner. But you see, Tyrese actually was like he tried to chump Danny. He was like, "Yo, chill out, my dude." Because Danny was like going crazy, which I understood because he had already took that big blow from Achua. I think he hit him in the chest with an offensive foul, but he laid there gasping for air, so he was already in a bad mood.
Now, honestly, I felt the refs was going out of their way to make sure you couldn't say they was cheating for the Sixers. That's how it felt like. It was a lot of, but. To Toronto's credit, this is the way they played all year, and this is the way that they was used to getting calls like that. But I've always felt like they're hacks. They reach in, they swipe at you, they hit your arms and stuff. They run under you when you go to shoot and then want to cry, when they get called for the foul. So, but that being said, I thought Toronto came out. They purposely came out to play physical. The refs let them play physical, and then they wore themselves out. They looked like they was more tired down the stretch.
I don't know if they just don't have it at the end. They really didn't have a playmaker, and I keep saying this because you watch Siakam at the top of the key. He kept losing the ball every time. He was losing the ball all the time. He does that from time to time, but he can't keep doing that consistently. That's just not his game, So Siakam, top of the key, kept trying to dribble. His handle's kind of sloppy. He thin, he lanky.
Yeah,
his handle a little sloppy sometimes. So I mean, they couldn't close it out. They didn't have enough to close it out. We the better team. The better team. And I always say the better team, or usually the best player on a team, they'll win. They'll pull it out. Joel Embiid showed you he's the best player. He's the best player in this series.
Yeah,
and we won.
He might be the best player in the NBA because it ain't KD. Clink. KD getting clamped by getting clamped by Tatum.
Wait till Ben be there game 4.
What Ben going to do?
Wait for Ben coming to save the day.
What Ben going to do?
I'm telling y'all. Yo, Embiid, you're right. They are hacks, but and the thing is, this game the refs didn't call a lot of those calls because we should have probably been on the line 10, 15 more times than we went. But the refs gave them some home cooking, and that's fine. They was home. I don't even have a problem with that, especially since we came
right.
But
well, that's why I agree with Crispus Addicts. First of all, shout out to him. Toronto fans still coming in here and show his face because we had a couple Toronto fans that even before the series called. Remember, they was someone, I'm gonna call you back, Wayne. And when you had the salty tears on your face, I'll be here all series. Then we had the ones. Remember at the game 1, Wayne and jinxed y'all. Y'all about to lose the series now. I don't see none of them. Yeah. I don't see none of them hype ones no more. But that being said, I do agree with you, with Crispus or Addicts, whichever one. But I agree with him. Toronto was getting the benefit of the calls early on, but then it started to balance out. And you can never be mad at that when a game goes like that.
Yeah.
Did he leave again?
Yeah, he having problems. Tariq, you slapped.
Oh my God, I'm about to break something, bro. I'm about to break my computer, man. It's John acting stupid. I'm on my tablet, so bear with me, fellas. I'm trying to find a live chat that Tim didn't tell. I heard y'all.
Harden fouled out.
Yo, hit the comments. Hit the comments on the side. See the comments on the side where private chat and comments. Hit comments.
I'm interested about
I don't know. My tablet might be a little different as I just.
All right,
but
right under the login.
Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, I see it. They come up over my screen. For one thing, this game irritated me on a lot of levels as much as it excited me. I was irritated with Danny Green missing layups. I was irritated with Tobias missing layups. And I know you said there was tough shots, and it was. But that's
no Danny layup wasn't no tough shot. Danny layup wasn't no tough shot. There's no way in the world he took that.
I'm like, come on, bro. But ultimately, I mean, I know y'all talked about Embiid with the huge shot, MVP, closer, the whole nine. I mean, he got all the titles now. I know we was concerned about who was going to be the closer and all that. But what I will say, and I think Wayne addressed this earlier, that you could tell in that overtime we lost Harden. We lost a little bit of our identity.
Yeah.
We definitely got a little stagnant for a minute when we lost Harden. You could see that was evident. And this is why me and Wayne was saying before, I know Ethan and Tim in particular was hating on Harden and all this stuff like that. Wait till next year. I hope y'all keep that same energy as we go through the playoffs with the wait till the next year talk and all this other stuff like that. But Harden definitely puts everybody in a right position, and he brings a little bit of calm to the offense. That's what I liked about Harden.
First of all, Ethan never said wait till next year. I never said that.
Ethan said get Halliburton. He said he ain't want Harden. That's what Ethan said.
That's what I did.
Because you wanted to build more for the future, not now.
Now and for the future. You could do two. You could do 2 with 1.
You think Halliburton would have brought you the same experience and floor general leadership that Harden's bringing this team this year?
But he might have been more efficient because let me
ask you, if you don't win this year, then Halliburton could have brought it next year. Been a better player. So
who says that Harden can't bring it next year? I mean, you
think so? Think he'll get better?
If we come close and just lose, then who's to say he has to get better? He can bring in other pieces.
I just believe with Harden win a 2-year window. That's what I believe. I don't want to limit. I want to have that window plus beyond, and I think you could have done that.
Yeah, you would have 10 years, a 10-year window with him and Tyrese in the backfield.
Yes, that's what I.
How you know? Who's to say Halliburton won't get a catastrophic injury and not be the same like Grant?
Who's to say he won't? Who's to say Harden won't? Who's to say
has Halliburton never played a playoff?
Because here's the thing:
it's like his second year in the league.
Right now,
has he ever played a playoff?
Right now, James Harden is in his 13th year in the season. They said when they add up all the games that he played as many games as Isaiah Thomas. I was listening to another podcast, as many as Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. So it's like he had Allen Iverson. He had a full career so far. So when we gambling on somebody who played as many as all these greats, and we saying we're going to look to him as
I know. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Keep that same energy as we move to the playoffs. Is all I'm saying. But going back to the game, and how Harden was integral, as Wayne talked about earlier, and y'all did the same, integral in this win, how he orchestrated the offense, set cats up. I still think a couple instances in the game, I thought Maxey should have been a little bit more aggressive. I think entering into the fourth quarter, he only had like 8 or 10 shots or something like that. It wasn't that many. I thought he should have had a little bit more. Sometimes it looked like he had the lane and decided to pass and not pull up on the flow to the jump shot or take it to the rack. But all in all, I mean, this is the game I knew, and this is why somebody said last show that the game 4 was the most important game, and I said no, this game is the most important game of the series. You get this game, it's a wrap, and they're gonna come out fighting tooth and nail. Toronto showed a lot of heart. I gotta tip my hat, give them credit. Toronto showed a lot of heart. The boys, what's his name? Turner, the light-skinned boy, I can't remember his name offhand. He showed up.
About Trent Jr.? You talking about Trent Jr.? He balled out.
He balled out.
He probably gave everybody COVID or the flu or whatever he got, but he balled out with his sicknesses.
Siakam came up a little lame toward the end, like the fourth quarter overtime. I barely saw him make a shot. The other dude they had was I don't know what's the dude who kept it on.
Anunoby.
Yes, Anunoby. He was balling. He was legit certified ball. They showed dog in him. I give Toronto credit, undermanned and all that kind of stuff. Bulls and out the lineup being sick. Van Fleet just kind of getting back. they showed some heart. I had to give them credit. They showed some heart.
The funny thing is, I remember, and yeah, email. We was talking about that. That was the whole point. Well, Christmas addicts, you saying when they focus on Embiid and Maxey, then what Harden gonna do? Well, we saw that in this game, because in this game, like when we were talking about, Maxey was struggling to get his shot, Embiid wasn't doing much. Harden took control of the game. Harden started driving into the lane, getting finishes, driving and kicking it out to other people, getting everybody else in the game. Harden, for that stretch of the game, Harden kept them. We was getting blown out by 17 or something like that. Harden engineered that comeback. If you look at it, he was the one that engineered that.
And Wayne, to me, Ethan's point, Siakam came up small. This is why I said I don't.
He absolutely did.
I don't think he's.
You just said he was great though.
Player. No, Wayne said with the plot. He said like borderline. I think like trending to be great.
Yeah.
But you said Maxey was great. What Maxey do tonight?
I think,
all right. So all right. But my point of it is,
in overtime, Maxey was balling.
Yeah, he was.
How many turnovers? All right, how many turnovers Maxey had in overtime? He had 2 in overtime.
Yeah, one of them, didn't he?
Yeah, he had one. He had the one when he should have took the shot and he threw it and went out of bounds. And I thought there was another one he threw.
I don't remember more.
That was the only one.
That was it. That was it.
Yeah, he had 5 turnovers. I know.
Yeah, he finished with 5 turnovers. And
because they turned.
And Embiid had how many?
6.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I mean, you hating on Maxey 5 and you ain't gonna hate on B6?
No, I am hating on B6, but my point is Maxey's the guard though, right? Ain't that what we say the guard's supposed to protect the ball better?
Yeah, that's why the guard turned it over more.
But listen, all I'm saying is to say this is why I say temper your expectations with Maxey. When they focused on him, they made it tougher on him.
I'm telling you to temper your expectations with Siakam. That's how this whole thing started. We ain't talking about Maxey. We talking about Siakam, who you say was borderline great. However. Well,
it does make a difference when you got to sit there. Siakam got to go against Embiid all day. And I told y'all this what Embiid was going to do to these dudes. That he was going to wear these lightweights down.
And Van Fleet is a very, very great, very good perimeter defender. I mean, he has a hard time staying in front of Maxey, but Van Fleet is a very good perimeter defender.
Yeah, but the difference is
Toronto
the difference is like their coach said they was going to focus more on Maxey and not let him kill him. And this is all I'm saying. This is what you see them doing against Maxey now. And like I said, Maxey, that's like now when he tried that runner, they running over. He's not just getting the clear lane to shoot that runner. They're running underneath of him to catch. They caught him with that charge on that one play. Then the other thing, if you see what they're doing, like when they set the pick and Maxey goes to run around outside, now they're sending that other guy over there to trap and just not let Maxey get into the paint. But to Maxey's credit, he's not forcing the issue with stuff and he's swinging the ball. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes that makes him stop. I do want to see him more aggressive on them threes, though. Like when he get them open threes, I want him to still shoot those. But Maxey. I still think Maxey is our second best offensive. I think he's our second best offensive threat right now.
They concentrating on sliding when Maxey go to that lane, and
right?
That charge, kind of what they doing to Harden too a little bit. So he has to be aware of that. Listen, right. I gotta give it to the coach. The coach, not only does the coach good, but the players actually listen. They actually follow the game plan. So I do gotta take my hats off to them. How they defend, how they try to. Notice how they try to keep their arms back for B with the swipe through hard and stuff. So they are actually a well coached team. Like I said, they outmatched. Toronto is basically outmatched.
Can I get back to my original point that I was trying to
real quick? If we lose one game, then maybe it'll be a miracle.
I gave y'all 17 minutes before I logged on. Can I get a couple?
That's your problem. No, that's your fault and your problem. You're not gonna come here and get 17 minutes of talking because you couldn't get.
Yes, I am. I'm gonna get it all back. Yes, I'm gonna get it all.
Muting.
I'm gonna get all 17 back.
Go ahead.
Like I was saying, Wayne, Siakam. To me, Toronto lost this game and we won this game in large part due to Siakam. If Siakam was
Van Fleet.
Yeah, but the Siakam is supposed to be, in my opinion, more a go-to dude because he was the second tier. Well, I don't know about
Van Vliet is the all-star. Van Vliet is the all-star.
But with Siakam, I think wasn't he hurt last year a little bit? Remember Siakam when Kawhi was here, Siakam was the second ball up. He was the one who carried him all throughout the playoffs when they double teamed Kawhi.
Toronto is labeled as being Van Vliet's team.
I don't know about that. Siakam get a lot of props. And Siakam made an all-star game as well, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So he
Not this year. Did he? That was last year, wasn't it?
He made one. But my point is, Siakam definitely need. I like him as a wing player, but he's not the leader. I do think they have some up and coming players that's going to help them eventually be around in the future. So they're going to be a team to look out for. But this game right here, if it wasn't for Siakam really stinking it up, they would have beat us. Maxey actually played great D on the Bull Van Fleet on a couple of them threes he tried to take, and one toward I think it was in overtime when Maxey got his hand. I don't know if he actually blocked it, but he kind of swiped over top of his head and made him kind of change the trajectory of his three and made him miss. And one, he got a block on one of them joints early. So Maxey, our defense played good. I was impressed too.
So did Toby on Siakam. And Siakam had 5 fouls because he's coming down and helping out on defense a lot. He's on both sides of the ball.
Ethan Bull Middleton wouldn't have played that defense like Toby did. Just putting that out there.
You don't even want to start that whole argument. You don't want to start that argument.
I'm still a little leery about the bench.
Hold on, real quick. Sergeant Bass, I don't think any of us picked. I don't know if you're talking about other people in the chat. Sergeant Bass said some of y'all picked the Raps. None of us picked the Raptors to win.
Yeah, none of us picked the Raptors.
It was a couple people shook.
I
None of us picked the Raptors to win.
I was shook, but I didn't pick the Raptors.
No, none of we had it on the show. None of us picked it. Remember, I started off saying Sixers and 6, but now I look like a sweep. What we said was game 1 was important. That's what me and Tim followed my lead.
No, I said the first and Ethan co-signed, but it don't matter though.
But I'm telling you, I am a little concerned. Niang played well coming off the bench. Shake and Paul Reed, they was both minuses. Shake didn't really get off no shots. I know he went to the foul line, but in like 12 minutes, you ain't take one shot. I don't understand that. Like, how are you in the game for 12 minutes and you don't take one shot to me and you coming off the bench for scoring? I just don't understand what's going on with that. But the bench, to me, going forward, this series ain't going to be – we ain't going to talk about the bench because we're not going to need them. But going forward, I think the bench has to be a little more impactful.
But our starting 5 is so dynamic.
Starting 4. Starting 3.5.
But
who's the half? Tobias been balling.
Danny Green's the half.
This new Tobias though, because this is the 3rd game in a row that this new Tobias has showed up. I don't know if this is permanent, but and Doc said he's the unsung hero tonight for the game in his press conference. Tobias Harris, because
I agree.
He took the challenge.
He does. Busy Miz, you called
no. Where did I say Van Fleet was better? I said Van Fleet was I said Ephraim was saying that this was on Siakam, and I said about Van Fleet too, because Van Vliet was supposed to be the face of their franchise. But I do think Siakam is better. I think Siakam is better than Van Vliet. I do. He plays both sides of the ball.
Okay, so it's on him, right?
Huh? It's on both of them.
You agree with me?
Remember they was all hype when Van Vliet came in the first game and was hitting them threes. It was all Van Vliet. Remember this what the Bulls told us. This what the Toronto fans told us. Coming, we getting Van Vliet back. Y'all in trouble. We Van Vliet coming in. We gonna do this, that, and other. This is what they said.
We not talking about that. We talking about you.
Talking about me? What? I think Siakam is better than Van Vliet. Yes.
I mean, that's what I said. I mean, so you was
no. I ain't talking about Miz. I'm talking about Miz said that I contradict myself. That first I was saying Siakam was almost great, and now I'm saying Van Vliet is better. I'm saying no, I'm not saying Van Vliet is better. I'm saying Van Vliet is supposed to be a star of their team.
I know, but
I'm talking to Miz. I'm not talking to you.
But I guess I'm confused. Me and Miz confused because you disagreed with me when I said Siakam.
I didn't disagree. I said it falls on both of them. It falls on both of them. They're supposed to be they're the stars of that team.
You said
both of them, and they stunk.
You said
they're both the stars of that team, and they stunk.
Okay, we heard you. Let me finish. You said Van Fleet, and I said Siakam, and you said, well, Van Fleet's the all-star. He's supposed to be better. That's what we confused. Yeah. So if you saying he's better now, we agree. But you was going back and forth.
When you first started, you said this falls on Siakam, and I said, and what about Van Fleet? It's both of them. The same way if Embiid and Harden stink and we lose, you're going to say it's on both of them.
We're gonna be here all night with Wayne doing.
Yeah, y'all just gonna.
we gonna be all night with Wayne, but Ephraim going back and forth with. We gonna be all night with Wayne, but we both here going right.
We heard what he said. So, but with that being said, The sweep is now in position. The 4-0 sweep that I call when Ethan says 6 games, Tim says 7, I think.
I said 5.
Okay, Wayne said 5, I think.
Wayne said 6 too.
I said 6. Okay.
All right. Well,
Wayne's gonna sit there. Wayne's gonna sit there and not say nothing like you.
How? I'm trying to let him. I'm trying to let him talk because if I go to correct him while he's saying it, then y'all don't cut me off. So I was letting him say what he's gonna say, and I'm gonna say.
No, you do that.
I've been saying 6 the whole time.
You're doing it now. You do it now.
See?
Hold up. Let me finish.
They keep my name out your mouth.
All right, let me just jump in. I need my 17 this is a game. This is kind of a game of 2 halves when it came to Joel Embiid. Like the first half, he literally did stink it up, and I thought he was going to be the reason why we lost this game. He had 5 points at the half, 4 turnovers. I mean, he was the reason why we got in that hole. Let's be clear. However, that second half, he got it together. Because he knows how they're going to play him. He knows how Nick Nurse's defense plays against him. And it's almost like he fell back into that trap. But he was like, you know what? I'm taking over. He did his thing. And even though besides that in the regulation shot that was kind of dumb, the man balled out. I got to give him all the props in the world. He actually balled. He did his thing for us. So this game, if I'm giving out game balls, even though Tobias played well, my game ball got to come from Joel Embiid.
Of course.
Yeah.
But that being said, you're saying he played so bad in the first half, he only shot like 5 shots or something.
But
he was passing because the way that they played him and they would double, triple team and he was swinging the ball and nobody was in.
It doesn't matter how they was playing him.
You can't even just admit he had a bad first half.
I mean, where did I say that he didn't have a bad half?
I mean,
where was Maxey at? You told me Maxey to close it. Where was Maxey? So shut up. Like I said, because this is what y'all do. Because this is what y'all do. You know why? This is why y'all gonna hear me get like this. Because this is what they do. As soon as the game starts and B's off a little bit, or Toby missing like Ethan actually tried to say Maxey was carrying us in this game. And Maxey, Tim at least was like Toby keeping us in it, or Harden. No, he said Harden keeping us in it. Ethan said, and Maxey.
Like
where was Maxey keeping us in the game?
But let's stick to the game commentary. We can go back and forth on a chat later.
I'll say this about B. I don't think it was necessarily B had a bad first half. I just think the game has ebbs and flows. Like this is fan talk. I understand. You want to see your star dominate.
They call him Wayne A. Smith.
You want to?
Hey, Ms. Go ahead. Listen, Ms. Who you like?
You can address them. Let me just finish. The game is ebbs and flows. As a fan, you want to see your star dominate from beginning to end, but the reality is sometimes you have to play within the confines of the game. I always talk about this, and this is what I agree with Wayne was saying, where he was getting double, triple. Sometimes you got to try to let even LeBron. And not saying beat is like LeBron, but even LeBron had games where you kind of you try to facilitate because you're going to need these other dudes to get into the game just as much as you are. You could make the game come to yourself whenever you want. But sometimes you got to defer to Tobias. You got to defer to the Maxeys because you're going to need them. And we did need Maxey. Maxey came up huge in the overtime, but he scored our first 4 points in overtime. So you can't always just score every time you get the ball and you got 25 going into the half. It don't always work like that. And B can dominate when he wants, how he wants. But sometimes you gotta be smart and let your team get in the game. Tim, the first dude to call, be selfish, you taking every shot. Now when he deferring and passing, sudden, he had a terrible first half. No, I just think he deferred more. It wasn't like he was off. Y'all act like he was 1 to 12 or something.
He was thinking it up. He was thinking it up. Then one pass, James Harden got credit for a turnover that went through his legs. It's like he just wasn't playing. He wasn't playing well. He just wasn't. It's okay to say that. It's okay.
I kind of agree with Tim. It's okay. Listen, that's what you want your superstar to do, though. Bounce back and crush. So, regardless, whenever you look at the game, he had a great game. The game is 4 quarters.
Yeah.
Like Ethan was saying. So, he had a great game. All right, he might have started off a little slow. He couldn't get the shots he wanted because they was trapping him every time he turned around. So, he had to play through that. Took a little adjustment. Exactly. He adjusted. And crushed.
It's a whole game. I don't put y'all like he was bad, like he was thinking up. Tim told me you get one ball go through his legs, he playing like trash. I don't get that. To me, you're not going to hear that from me tonight.
And that's the point. Game. And that's the point I'm saying. I agree with what Ephraim is saying, which is what I was also saying, which is when they're double, triple teaming him, he's doing what their scheme is supposed to be and swinging to the other guys. The whole team was off. It wasn't like B was just coming out here shooting dumb shots in the first. He shot more dumb shots in the second half than he did in the first half. And he had what, like 5 turnovers in the first half and ended with 6 for the game?
No, he had 4 in the first half and 2 in the second.
And he ended with okay.
Ended with 6. But here's the point that I'm making. Like the first game, he was spectacular as far as turning the ball over. I think he had no turnovers. Great. The second game, he had 4 turnovers. So now I'm looking, okay, be careful, Embiid, because we don't want this to become a pattern where you turn the ball over again. Guess what? Today, he had 6. So he went from 4 to 6. So now we're saying, even though we won the game, we still want you to work on it, work on the turnovers, because they're going up by the game. That's
no, they're not. First of all, oh my God, y'all boys killed me. Like, stop. Go
ahead, I'm tired of yelling. Go ahead, you got it.
Stop this goofiness. First of all, if you want to talk about somebody stinking up, your man KD stunk it up 2 games in a row.
Wait a minute. Hold on, real quick. Real quick. Now we get to the bottom of it. I forgot it because Miz was one of them Harden haters. That's why he's in his bag right now, because he was one of them dudes that hated Harden all the time. Mm-hmm. I knew it was a reason he came in here hot.
Yeah, listen.
And we will tell you that 10 turnovers in the last 2 games is a lot. And if you're a basketball fan, you know having 10 turnovers in 2 games is a lot.
A turnover like first of all, turnovers like an interception, it tells its own story. All them turnovers ain't necessarily his fault. It's also the way you getting the ball passed to you a lot of times, what makes the ball go through your legs and all that kind of stuff like that. So Harden can try to thread the needle at times unnecessarily and create bad passes for players. But if it hits your hands, it's your fault because it's a turnover. So every turnover has its own story. I thought B played a great game all in all. He showed it in the fourth. He could dominate whenever he wants. He could score from any place on the court. He should be the MVP. And once again, this is why when y'all always scream about these voted on awards, KD won Finals MVP over Steph and all these MVPs.
You can't let that go. That's why you're a hater.
This is why I personally don't put much stock into these voted on awards by these sports analyst dudes, because it looks like the Joker is probably going to win his second back-to-back MVP when he shouldn't. But y'all keep the same energy when y'all talk about all these MVP awards and all these final MVPs that everybody else got. Y'all keep that same energy when y'all realize that B just got cheated out of an MVP. How about that?
I give it to you, Miz. You say he a good leader a little bit.
After watching these first, what were you on? Game 2, game 3 into the playoff.
He couldn't give a full compliment.
After watching these first couple games into the playoff, just the East. We aren't talking about the West right now. Just the East. How do y'all feel about the Sixers moving forward, about the competition?
Well, now, Chicago's in a fight right now with the Bucks in game 2. Miami,
they handling Atlanta like we should have did last year, to be honest with you. They handling them. When Atlanta made their little run, they getting all hype. Miami handling them. That's what we should have did last year. I'm kind of upset watching that series.
Yeah, both of us should move on, but I think with Harden, I think that against Miami, I think Harden makes a big difference with us against Miami, because when you get in those zone defenses, I think that's where Harden is the most crucial for us. And then I don't think that their guards can stay with Harden in Miami. I don't think that their guards will be able to stay with him and Maxey.
I think I took the competition.
You don't think Miami guards?
Yeah. I don't think Miami guards could stay with Maxey and Harden.
See, the only thing I'm worried about with that Miami team is
I don't want to jump the gun. I'm just asking, y'all feel more confident. Do y'all feel more
Harden in Miami in the weekend? That's
I think Miami's going to be our toughest opponent, I think, because I don't think that the Celtics-Nets series is over. I think the Nets are going to go home and going to win at least a game, if not a couple. And I think the Bucks might have to fight a little bit with the Bulls, and then they're going to have to fight against each other. So I think whoever comes out of it between the Sixers and Miami, if everything holds true, is going to have an upper hand against the next round up.
If we can get 4 days off, that would be nice.
I think that's the next series is over. And I'm gonna tell you why.
It's over. I agree.
KD never seen D. This is what I always, when y'all be people try to hate on Steph. I had a little sip, but people try to hate on Steph and all that stuff like that. This is what I'm saying. The way defenses play Steph Curry, the only player in this league, NBA today, who's faced similar defenses is Joel Embiid. Nobody faces a constant double and triple the way they do Steph Curry. And I always said this to y'all on the Polo chat, and they all know this. If they played KD and the rest of these dudes like that, you would see a totally different game. Boston said, bump that. Forget all this one-on-one letting you shoot. We're going to throw the house at you. And we're going to make Kyrie and all these other dudes beat you, and we're going to shut you down. KD ain't never seen no defense like this.
No, I disagree with that whole sentiment.
Did you see what his numbers were the last 2 games?
KD has seen defense. KD has seen defense like that before.
The only reason why they lost
when KD get that type of coverage
doesn't matter. I'm talking about the only reason
when he played Golden State and Draymond was strapping.
The only reason why they lost that game is because
KD ain't never really seen defense consistently the way Boston is playing. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you this game.
No, listen. The only reason why they lost this game because Kyrie was hungry. Like he needed a meal.
What?
He hungry. Kyrie. He's starving. He hasn't been eating because he's been fasting.
No. Did you see KD stats? Forget Kyrie. Have you seen KD's stats? Do you see what they're doing to KD?
Okay, but they had
it don't matter.
They had a 9-point lead. They just lost. They lost focus. You're
not hearing what I'm saying. Did you see what KD's stats were?
Guess what? KD is only one person. There's 4 other players out there on the team.
You told me he was the best player in the NBA. If you're the best player in the NBA, you're going to tell me you're going to shoot 30% 2 straight games in a row? And you're the best player in the NBA. You unstoppable with the mid-range. You one of the best scorers of all time. And you put 30% 2 games in a row. Stop playing with me.
So 2 games.
Kyrie did only have 10 points.
So 2
I
games.
know. I'm not saying that's why. I'm not saying that's why they did. I'm not saying that didn't hurt them. I'm saying what they're doing to KD, he has never seen it consistent like this before. And I'm telling you right now, this series is over. I'm not saying the Nets ain't going to win no games. Boston will win this series. I'll be shocked.
I want you to be shocked. I want you to be shocked.
I still think it's going. I still think it's going to be some fight in that series. But Titan DMC, I actually agree with a lot of stuff you're saying. And like you said, and this is the reason why I felt so strong about the Sixers. I felt strong about them last year and this year. No one has someone that could just square up against Embiid. I think before the Bucks,
email hating.
I think that other teams did have like some big physical guys back when Embiid wasn't in as good a shape or as strong. But right now they don't.
Email. I did not say that KD had. I mean that.
And KD's getting locked up by Tatum. And guess what? And everybody was hyped about Tatum the better. And Jaylen Brown came in the clutch in the 4th quarter and started turning on him too. Putting Kyrie in a spin cycle, laying him up and everything.
He's throwing all kinds of coverage at KD. At KD. And as soon as KD have a bad game, Tim's like, well, Kyrie, no, we got to talk about Kyrie. We talking about your superstar player had a bad game. But
there's some people in here that said the Nets was going to win that series.
You're disingenerous because
I don't know. With that being said, I think right now.
Say his name.
I don't know. I don't know. I believe you and Tim.
Who?
No, you didn't say that. It was Tim.
I picked the Celtics to go to the finals.
I think with that being said, I think the Celtics are the toughest competition in the East right now. Them and probably Milwaukee. The Celtics is playing a ball. Ball.
You saying competition against us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're a very good coach team. They playing defense. They do not let up at all. They play a whole 48-minute defensive barrage against your best offensive players. If we have to go against them, we better get ready. They do not play. I was firsthand at that Celtics game that we got waxed. Now, granted, we had some people out that game and all that, but they was not playing. They do not let up the whole game. I'm telling you.
One hamstring away from being
okay. What's
and I'm gonna tell you what else. You think Toronto gonna get away with a lot of fouling? Once they name that boy defensive player of the year, he's gonna get away with so much stuff against Harden. Watch.
Who's that?
Marcus Smart.
You got defensive player of the year? I missed
it. He won. He's like the first guard since Gary Payton to win. So shout out to Marcus Smart. Congratulations.
Did you see that shot he had at today? The left hand shot. He had to put the game away too. AK was crazy.
I think it's 3-1. Is it 2-2?
No, it's 2-2 against Boston this year.
Boston
They're a whole different team.
And we've never played them with Harden.
That's
They're
true.
a different team than when we played them earlier.
It's a
Though.
whole
Remember, he was
different
like,
team.
Right, but and when they beat us by the 40, we didn't have Harden. We didn't have a point guard.
The last time we played them, we got waxed. But like Wayne said, Harden wasn't here yet.
So, any chance that we lose the series?
I like Marcus Smart. I don't think he's overrated. What you say?
No,
I like Marcus Smart too.
What's the percentage on somebody coming back from 3-0?
Never.
Hey, we're not gonna do this because we got Doc.
I just asked. Nobody Doc lost a 3-1 lead. We never lost. Nobody never lost a 3.
Guess what? In order to win 3-0, it got to get to 3-1.
Ain't no way in the world we lose this series. Ain't no way.
I don't think. I
I
told you what I felt coming into this. I thought that Toronto would win this game, and then the Sixers would whack them on the next one. Yeah, but Sixers pulled this. So I thought Toronto was going to come here and give you everything that you could handle. I thought that they was going to get the benefit of some calls at least early, just because they did so much complaining. The refs have to show. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to give a certain look, like you hear what they're saying, especially when you start hearing all the talking heads in the media and some of the other people, everybody talking about the fouls and stuff.
I want to say this too. I don't like how they're trying to do Joel Embiid. They're trying to make it look like he's a flopper. He plays for the fouls. And I think that's hurting his MVP status a little bit. They doing Joel Embiid dirty on that. They really doing him dirty. I don't like how they doing that to the
Miz right. The Bulls is running up in the Bucks right now by 16.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I told y'all Bulls ain't playing. Bulls ain't going out like
that's what I said too. It wasn't going to be as easy as people think.
Nah, that's not what you said, Wayne. That's not what you said.
What with the Bulls and Bucks?
That's not what you said.
That's what he's saying right now.
Hating on the Bulls. You want to play the Bulls?
Yeah, because we match up against the Bulls and the Cavs. We swept them this year. What part don't you get about that?
Hold on.
Every
team did.
And I also said that I think that they have enough players where they can make it tough on other teams. That's like I wanted the Bulls to play the Celtics because I think that the Bulls have enough wing players to make it tough on them.
I told you.
No, it's crazy.
Would be different.
With this game, they can't even blame the refs to say that Embiid went to the line 19, 20 times. He only went to the line, I'm looking at 9 free throws. So he really just played an all-around good second half. Like after the halftime, he played very, very well. So the Raptor fans were complaining all week long, saying the refs was in there like cheating for the Sixers almost. So
the Bulls do have weapons, but the reason why I don't worry about them with the Sixers is, to me, some of these other teams show that they have some kind of scheme or plan against Embiid to make it tough against Embiid. Embiid has no problem against them and against the Cavs. So that's why when it came down to it, when I said the teams I would rather face that I think is the easiest to beat would be them. I've seen other teams come up with some kind of scheme that make it a little tough on Embiid or whatever, but they have absolutely zero answer for Embiid.
It's not even like Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine's overrated to me too, by the way.
Now you had to change your heart because you wanted that boy like a month ago. But
Wayne wanted him.
Who?
Wayne.
Oh yeah, Wayne was crying for that.
I still would take Zach LaVine.
No, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
William Conway, I agree with you. I don't want to jinx it, but I do see us beating them in 4. Like I said, Herb, I agree that as well. I said Toronto won't lay down. Sixers still have to earn it. But Herb, I do want to address you because you also kind of the Ben Simmons fan and the Bede hater a little bit. You and Tim Love hating on Bede and trying to cape up the
fan to Bede.
Do you think your boy Ben can save the Nets at this point? Do you think he's going to come in and help and try to, with his lower back injury and all this kind of stuff, with his no offensive repertoire, is going to come in and help this situation?
I believe so.
We'll see. But I heard, I want to give you Bede. I want to hear you out of your mouth. Give Bede some props. Give Joel the props that he deserves. He's a closer. He's the MVP. And y'all about to see a travesty. When they announce the Joker as the MVP, y'all going to see a travesty in this thing.
Hey, Shabazz, now you see why. Now you see why I get as hype as I get on here. So the same person that's hype on Halliburton is saying that LaVine is trash.
Because I watch basketball.
I do too.
Okay.
Yeah. I would take Zach LaVine right now over Halliburton. I don't watch Halliburton that much, so I can't show fake fake knowledge on really his game. I watch Zach LaVine obviously more. I do like Zach LaVine game. He has been struggling a little bit. At least a couple games I watched him in this series against Milwaukee. Maybe he balling tonight. As soon as it's
he shooting tonight. He only got 16. He's shooting 6 for 12, and he's hitting 2 for 3 from threes.
That's not bad.
Okay.
That's 50%.
That's not bad.
Vukovic, and what's the name going off?
DeRozan going off on him.
Yes, Vukovic and DeRozan's going off.
Skip Bellis just said, "I'm sorry, I'll take Embiid over Jokic any day or night."
This is why he probably has a vote. He probably voted for Jokic. I don't know. This is what I'm saying.
He probably did.
This is why I'm saying y'all keep all these dudes. It's Skip Bellis the first one. Ben is an all-star. Why would you trade Ben? He's an all-star. These dudes. This is what they do. This is why I can care less about voted on awards. Y'all know Steph Curry, my man. I could care less about the unanimous MVP. He was the MVP that year, in my opinion, but it don't mean nothing to me. It should have been other players who's unanimous before. But everybody holds so much stock on these MVPs and final MVPs, like they define somebody's career because these analysts or these sports dudes voted on them. They don't even play. I don't care.
Mr. Wing said Skip been for Embiid over Joker all year.
Skip is a fraud. He a fraud. He dwelled the past. He the same dude who bring up every time talk about LeBron. They talk about LeBron way too much for one thing, but he always bring up Dallas. And every time we talk about Steph, he bring up a finals in 2015. Like, dog, you stuck in the past. Be in 2022. So all these different things, I could care less about these dudes.
You know the funny thing is, a lot of players actually show B love. Like KD said, Embiid should be the MVP. Yeah. You see, Markelle Fultz came out and said B should be the MVP. B ain't always had. B didn't had his battles with other players, but other players looking and they see what Embiid does, and this is why I've always, after the first year when Embiid was hurt and everything else, I was a little shaky on it. But after that, and watching when I watched them actually let him play, this is why I thought that he should be the focal point to build around over Ben Simmons, because you're talking about a guy at that size that moves the way that he does and can shoot the way that he does. Like, you had Shaq dominate down in the paint. Shaq was shooting 50% from free throws. You talking about Embiid can take you off the dribble, can hit a three, can take you to the basket, draw fouls, and hit free throws at 80% clip. That's amazing. And play defense.
Malcolm Shabazz, Jay Wright retired today, so shout out to him.
He did officially retire? Yeah, I saw they said he was talking about it.
Yeah,
he'll be back in like 3 or 4 years. He kind of
he might just be like, I'm done. Like,
he gonna pull a Brady?
Nah, he probably done. He done made Villanova into one of the great franchises, and he put Villanova up there in the same breath. Like with the Final Four this year, you had those other three. You had Carolina, you had Duke, you had Kansas. It was Kansas, right? Kansas, Carolina, and Duke. You had these big name franchises or whoever that was in there, and Villanova, and you had to put Villanova in the same likeness with them because Villanova then won 2 chips in the last and been in so many finals in the last few years. Jay put them on the map as a big time franchise.
He'll probably be, he's gonna do a Dick Vermeil. He probably take some years off and come back. Can you imagine? And I know y'all keep saying Ben ain't playing. I don't think he is either. Can you imagine what Boston would do to Ben Simmons if he tried to enter that lineup? They would eat his lunch money for real. And Tim, I agree with you. I never seen KD bring so many shots in all my life. I never seen him miss so much. I don't think he's going to play this bad consistently, but they definitely putting that deal calls.
Yes, some people in here actually did say trade Embiid and build around Ben Simmons, but they fell back on it. They fell back on it after a couple years and became one of the biggest.
Wayne, where's you on my screen? Is he that?
Pointing to him now for mine.
I said.
No, I said. Hold on.
It's funny how you come on here and you try to say some people did say, as much as you was riding for Ben, now you want to come here and say I said build around Ben, but you don't want to come in here and I say Ben trash, you got to trade him, but you wanted to keep him
because I don't think that he was trash.
And you thought how great of a player Ben Simmons was. Because guess what? With that nonsense.
Because guess what? And this is weird when people say I'm a Ben hater. Some people say I'm a Ben hater. Some say I'm a Ben lover. My whole point was we needed a point guard. Ben Simmons played the point guard position. When Ben Simmons didn't play
well.
Yes, he did. He played well enough for us to be the number 1 seed.
He played it well enough to lose in the second round. That's
right, because he didn't, because he stopped playing when he started getting fouled. Exactly. He stopped playing. When he was playing, he was winning the series.
The bottom line is we did never win this championship with Ben Simmons. And that's the ultimate.
I
agree. We got a point guard in here that we could possibly give us a chance to win. Ben wasn't good enough. He never was.
I think we still could have won. It just would have been.
No, we never won a championship.
We still would need a true point guard, but I think.
So you don't think if Ben wasn't shook and doing what he did, and Maxey developing how he's developing as a 2?
No,
you don't think they could have still won?
I think if we kept Jimmy Butler in that same squad that we had with different coaches.
Jimmy ain't want to play with Ben.
I didn't say that. I said if we had that
squad,
never won.
Now you're changing all the dynamics of.
Ben was never equipped to win a championship with his style of play, and he never will be. I'm gonna give you all a news flash. He never will be.
No, I'm gonna give you a news flash. You don't know that.
I do. I'm telling you. But
he showed you that the fact that he's not even playing now. He has no desire to play. No, I'm gonna tell you. You know what? You know what did it for me? Other than the fact that when he threw away the dunk, when he could have dunked right on nobody and threw it away because he was scared. But after that, when he came out with the statement that he made, that his agent made, talking about if he would have went to another team where he could have grew with them, like he came here and they was looking for us to win too soon. He didn't get a chance to grow somewhere. Right. That right there just tells you where his mindset is. And this is why he probably won't play in this season at all now.
This really is about the Sixers and the game tonight. Y'all going into a Ben bashing, which is not necessary.
You're right.
But everybody kept saying that Nick Nurse was going to coach around Doc this series. Everybody was saying that. They got the better coach.
In Nick's Nurse defense, Doc has the better talent.
Exactly, he does.
But Doc has been coaching a very good
talent game. Beats heart any day. Talent beats heart, and all Toronto have right now is a bunch of heart running around.
I've seen Larry Brown coach bad teams.
No, you haven't.
I've seen Larry Brown coach and beat teams with just people buying into his system.
Who's echoing?
That's not always the case. Most times it is, but sometimes if you got a really great coach, they can coach around great players.
Why are you echoing?
I mean, I live by the phrase you are echoing. I live by the phrase. You got to echo with him. Nah, I got to echo. We all got to echo. Somebody got to use a device.
I don't hear no echo.
Somebody got a double device on.
Turn your devices down.
I don't hear what y'all hear.
I don't know, maybe it's me. But I go by the phrase that ain't the skill of the man, it's the will of the man, and often takes it.
Ephraim, I think it's you.
I don't have any alternate device on though.
Tim, mute yourself for a second. I think it's Tim.
I think it is Tim.
Stop.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, is Tim muted?
Can we hear it now? All right, we good. But yeah, I mean, in this situation, I do agree. We have a substantial amount of talent over them, so you can't necessarily, in this case, say who's the better coach without a doubt. I mean, Doc a good coach. He do some goofy stuff that irritated sometimes throughout the season. We talk about that, but I mean, I'm sure if we were Toronto fans, we would probably say the same thing about Nick Nurse in certain situations here or there. So, I mean, at this point, it is what it is. We're gonna get this dub, this sweep. And we're gonna be on to play either the Bulls or who is it? Bulls or
we play
Miami, Orlando, but look like Miami.
Y'all haven't really talked about that timeout that Doc called at the end of the game that pretty much won the game for us.
Yeah, he got away with that one.
That was huge. I agree with that.
B was sitting there, was about to turn the ball over.
Thank you.
A questionary thing. I am that uncle at the cookout. I'm the one come running up like, yo, let me get that shot. Hold, somebody hold my drink real quick.
He coached a solid game in the playoffs. Maybe we were looking at, because what Doc was doing was he was preparing for the playoffs and not necessarily for
my fault.
Yeah, that's Ephraim.
What this bull?
Did he just put up?
If you don't go ahead with that daggone Fisher Price tablet you playing with, man.
There you go. My camera wasn't working on my joint now, man. It was actually stupid. My son.
And he gonna try to play it off like it's somebody else. Ooh, echo.
Yeah,
no, that was just me. I just logged it in. It wasn't me before. But I don't know.
All right, y'all got any final thoughts?
Well, Fair XL. He said, how many chips y'all think we would have won if we picked Tatum? We still would have had to get a point guard.
Still need, yeah.
4D, huh? I wasn't 4D. I mean, which y'all? I mean, y'all want to talk about around the league real fast with
We
Devin
can.
Booker getting hurt? Or
I don't. We don't care about going. We don't care about the West Coast.
Why not?
Care about the whole NBA.
Yeah, thank you. We got the.
You said you watch ball. How you don't care about the other side?
I just want to hear him try to debate us and talk about Golden State.
He just want to talk about Golden State. That's all. Nobody wants to talk about Golden State.
Who would want to talk about Golden State with Steph Curry doing crazy
Golden
stuff?
State ain't going nowhere.
I mean,
If Memphis get past Minnesota, they putting the clamps on
Who
that.
wanna talk about the way-
Memphis. I don't think Minnesota wins another game.
I just
I
want
wouldn't be surprised.
Steph to blow out his knee and not be good.
You don't think who wins another game?
Minnesota.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I would. I think,
But I don't think Golden State goes past Memphis this year.
All right, around the league. Phoenix. That's what series we start with. Minnesota, Memphis, Minnesota series.
That was hate. My bad, James.
I didn't even hear what he said.
I said I want Steph to blow out his knee.
That's unnecessary. So you wish other teams were going to come back on your team.
Go ahead, around the league. We talked about the East, so we go ahead and jump into the West.
All right, so we got the Phoenix Suns in that series. Is there a concern with Devin Booker not being available the next two games? Is there a concern with them losing that series?
Oh yeah, it's definitely concerned. I don't think.
Yeah, because they can't stop Tatum. I mean, they can't stop Ingram.
I mean, I still think they could without Devin Booker. I still think they could win this series, but it's going to be a longer series now.
Yeah, I agree. I think they win the series too. I think they make the right adjustments. They got a good coach, and they also got a really good team.
They do. They deep.
So,
they deep.
Yes, I think they can make the adjustments. I don't think New Orleans is good enough to beat them right now. You need phenomenal. You need too many phenomenal games from Ingram and McCollum.
Without Booker?
Yeah, without Booker.
I think they can without Booker.
No, without Booker, I still think Phoenix wins.
Valanciunas grabbing like 25 rebounds against them and stuff like that.
Listen, 25 shots.
I think you're going to get step up.
No, Valanciunas. Yeah, 21. Yeah.
Yeah, he was 7 for 21 or something like that.
He was. Yeah, he was. He had 25 rebounds.
I think that Mikal Bridges is going to step up more. I think they're going to get more productive. Chris Paul could black out at any moment like he did the last game when he dropped 31. I think they're going to be called on him a little bit more to step up. And also they're going to be called more on Ayton to step up too. I think they could win this series without Devin Booker. But anything past that is going to be iffy for them.
Now, another thing, somebody brought up Zion Williamson. That is an interesting thing happening over there in New Orleans with Zion. He's cleared for full contact, but he's not even playing with the team. It's an interesting dynamic going on there that I would like to know the ins and out of that. I know he wanted to come back and play with the team, but the teams told him he wasn't ready. That's interesting development over there.
No,
Keep your eyes on
ready,
that.
I'm not bringing him back. I mean, that's a $100 million player. He's probably worth $1 billion to their franchise. You're not just gonna put him out there.
I don't think isn't he releasing kind of little small breadcrumbs that he don't want to be there no more. And
he's reaching breadcrumbs that he wants to play. Remember the dunk video?
I mean, I know that's happening, but was there something to like his dad was saying
early on? You're right. Early on, he was saying that he was trying to get out of New Orleans.
That's before they started winning.
But now they winning. Now they got McCollum there, and now it's fun. Okay, I want to stay.
Now, do you think New Orleans is holding him back for fear that he's so overweight he may hurt himself again?
Yeah, I think they trying to. Sometimes you have to look out for the athlete over himself. So they're looking out for his future. You know, an athlete want to play. They want to get we balling. This the playoffs. I want to play. So you gotta do what's best for him. He might not do that. Like
let me ask you this: can Dallas win the series without Luka playing the next couple of games? Because Luka, I don't.
They won the last game. I don't know how they pulled that off. How did that? I mean, Utah.
I mean, Utah was a road team, right? And they split the first two games.
Yeah.
They let Brunson drop 41 points. He is not that good.
Yes, he is.
I'm about to say Brunson is a baller.
Yeah. He's a baller in Villanova.
He was a baller at Villanova. He definitely
Dixon should have drafted him too. This is my thing. You could have had. They was right in your backyard. Bridges and Brunson.
I don't think Brunson's that good.
I'm
not saying he's trash. He's a good player, but it's good to drop 41 in the playoffs against you. The Jazz is in trouble. All they kept doing, from what I heard and the highlights I saw, all they kept doing was dragging Gobert out once again, pulling his man way out to the 3-point line, and Utah defense was suspect, and Brunson was blowing right by him, going to the hole, easy layups and all that kind of stuff like that. Utah is.
I think they said Donovan Mitchell might be talking about getting up out of Utah. I'll take him on the Sixers.
Oh, where though?
Jalen Brunson this year.
Where would you take him? Like, who's he starting over?
I agree, Don. He's not a 40.
I might be willing to take him as the point if Harden talking about some 30, 40 million.
Look at Jalen Brunson's stats though. He's averaging 16 points a game this year, 50% from the field and 37% from three.
But most of the time he was playing with Luka though, right? Who gets all the attention. I'm just saying, I don't think once Luka's out the game, you should let this bull score 40 points on.
But sometimes a player like Luka, because he's so ball dominant, sometimes he can actually hold a player back a little bit.
I can agree with that a little bit. I could agree with that.
I mean, this one quick question: is this iteration of James Harden, is that worth $40 million, $50 million a year?
No, we already talked about that. But now we
on the next team.
We talking about We're talking about Golden State now and Denver. Golden State and Denver, right? Because I know Tim kept trying to go around it, but let's address this. Juan, and there's a couple people in the chat that want to hear me talk about Golden State.
Nobody wants to hear you.
Everybody,
man, Golden State beating that whack Denver squad. That's like getting hype about Miami beating Atlanta. Stop it.
No. I'm just saying. What I'm telling you is, Golden State coming out the West. I'm telling you.
No, they're not.
They come out the West. They got so much firepower, it don't make no sense whatsoever. They going in. Tim took himself out. Tim, why you gotta take it? What's wrong with this dude?
They can't beat
What's this cat?
They not beating Memphis in the playoff series.
They got the way the boy Jordan Poole is playing right now. Jordan Poole is level right now.
They not beating Memphis.
Clay, they beating Memphis. I'm telling you, they going to.
So who do they win? Who do they play if they win this round? Who do they play?
Memphis.
It is Memphis?
Sure, I'm not sure.
Yep. Memphis is number 2. Golden State is number 3. So the winners of Dallas, Utah. The winners of Dallas and Utah plays Phoenix, New Orleans.
And then the winner of
the 1-8 plays the 4-5, and the 2-7 plays the 3-6. If I'm not mistaken.
Okay, probably so. I can see that.
Yep.
Happening. Yeah, Golden State going through them though. Memphis is a good team. They probably next year might be their time.
Yeah, Memphis might not be ready.
Only way I got to see if Memphis make quick work of Minnesota now, but if they mess around and make this into a little bit of a fight, then I don't know.
Do Memphis play Golden State next round if they
look at it? Hey, look, you know excited. Calm down. It don't matter.
I'm taking Minnesota. I'm taking Memphis the whole time. I'm telling you right now.
And you'll be heartbroken. You took Ben too, and how'd that turn out for you? So it don't matter who you take.
I can't wait.
Maybe from Juan Q had a good question for you.
I got to root for Philly all day. It's my thing is I'm not really. Let's keep this clear. I'm not a Golden State fan. I'm a Steph Curry fan because I think Steph Curry, even though he gets a lot of love, it's a lot of haters. You know, with the love comes hate. It's a lot of haters, like LeBron. People who are LeBron fans and they get all the Jordan hate and all that. It's a lot of hate that boys hate on Steph Curry, in my opinion, unnecessarily, because they try to tear him down. They try to hold him to standards that they don't hold other people to. So I really vote for Steph Curry hard. But if they play the Sixers, man, I'm trying to see Sixers win the chip. I ain't see Sixers win the chip in my they won when I was a little kid, but I don't remember that. I want to see Sixers win the championship.
But they do that to All-Stars. They do that to a lot of times. People catch flack like that because they got fanboys that hype everything that they do. That's the same reason with Bron. A lot of people had hate on Bron because you got the Bron worshipers that he can do no wrong. People hated on Mike because you had the Mike worship people. That's what people do. You know what I'm saying? It's like Kobe, because some people went so far with Kobe. Like you got the Kobe worshipers, people that be like that with Kobe, and then make other people hate on him, even though they do give him his props for being the baller that he is, but they don't like him because you have people that love him so much. That's
Does
just how it
anybody
go.
hate on Mike now. I see dudes that wasn't even born yet talking about Mike was the greatest. What? Huh? What?
Never saw him play live.
Did you even see him play?
No, he didn't.
I don't know. Mike gets so much love now. Mike is he reached legend status.
See, but my thing is, Wayne, and I hear you with the fanboy stuff, and that I mean, it's a little truth to that. But my thing is, if you're going to hate on him with the same criteria that you hate on other players with, right? Like, for instance, this is one small instance. Every time you mention Steph Curry and KD, right? When you say who's because that at a certain point, LeBron in my mind was number one, and then it was a fight for who was number two, right? So it was probably KD, Embiid was in that conversation, Steph Curry, blah blah blah. So when you mention KD and Steph, what do they say? Steph lost the 3-1 finals, right? That's the first thing you hear boys say. But didn't KD that same playoffs, the series before, lose a 3-1 lead to Golden State? Like, ain't that what happened? But nobody mentioned that. But this is what I mean when I say if you go.
Personally, I can't say somebody's the best player in the league if they're basically a one-sided ball player. If you have guys that can play both sides of the ball and dominate on both sides of the ball or play at a high level on both sides of the ball, I think Brian's defense, I mean, he's older now, but I think Brian's always had outstanding defense. Not saying he was the best defensive player in the year, but I think his offensive game was all around and he had solid, if not good or great defense.
But people like you try to sit there and act like Curry was a turnstile or something.
I didn't say it was a turnstile. No, that's not true. Because I actually gave Steph Curry props for having we had this conversation. I give Steph Curry props because he gets average 2 steals. I think that's still defense.
But you just said
one
side of the ball. You just said that
because he's not. Because I just said players that can play both sides at a high level. I don't think that he plays defense at a high level. That's why I said I thought Brian played.
To us.
You're right. Right, Tim.
So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. This was an excellent game. Once again, we got a lot of shout outs to give out to. Definitely shout out to Marcus Smart for winning Defensive Player of the Year. Retirement for what's the boy name from Villanova? Jay Wright. Embiid for his outstanding performance tonight.
We ain't talk about that B dunk either tonight.
That B dunk.
Somebody mentioned in the chat too. That joint was nasty.
I think you heard his thumb on that joint, but he played well. We gotta give him a shout out. And then Golden State for getting past the first round of playoffs and losing next round. But anyway,
shout out Juan Q. Shout out to you. I hear you. I mean we gotta make another pod specifically talking about around the league. I think a lot of people kind of want to hear.
Well, after the Sixers sweep and we waiting for the second round, we can come out with that.
Listen, I don't know if y'all listen to the end of the chat. We gotta ask something. What y'all want to hear when the NBA season over? We gotta put together some shows.
Oh yeah,
once a week maybe or something.
I agree. All right, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit us up on Instagram, YouTube, all of our platforms. We out.
Deuces.